name is Bijole-Himes, and I'm a sophomore studying costume design for theater and international studies at Northwestern University. Question 1. It is inspiring that Frederick Douglass was able to make a name for himself despite his background. I've hit a lot of statistics that are not synonymous with success, but I believe I can grow into someone who is a beacon of change like Frederick Douglass and Daniel O'Connell. Like these two men, I realized the value in the freedom to be diverse. I didn't even know who Daniel O'Connell was before applying to this internship, but now that I do, I would love to take advantage of every opportunity to foster the same mentor-like qualities that Daniel O'Connell had with Frederick Douglass. I'm inspired by their fight for human rights concerning people who are not part of the white, affluent, or religious majority in O'Connell's case. They inspire me to humanize people's stories that aren't part of the majority and to not alienate others due to perpetual qualities that they have. I see a lot of parallels between my story and that of Frederick Douglass. I see my goals for my life as a continuation of what Frederick Douglass fought for, helping people to see that difference isn't scary, but being different from those around you is valuable. The life of Frederick Douglass and Daniel O'Connell inspire me to humanize and celebrate diversity in my professional endeavors. Question 2. I hope to gain independence and confidence from navigating an environment completely different from what I'm accustomed to. Since this internship is open to all majors, I would like to learn about how the skills that I have and am developing can be applied to work that is different from my field of study. I want to discover how transferable skills that I'm gaining from school can actually be applied to a career. I haven't experienced much life yet, so I'm unaware of useful opportunities simply due to a lack of exposure to the types of jobs that exist and that are compatible with my skill set. In the future, international work would give me the ability to network with individuals from very different cultures. I would have a more innovative approach to my work in the future, and I would also gain a competitive edge in the job market of the field that I choose to pursue. Another way I see international work leveraging me in the future, I would have a really cool story to tell in future job interviews about the time that I went to Ireland. Question 3. My area of study in theater and interest overall involve clothing and textiles. My challenge? I was the head costume designer for a performance, and it was my first time being a designer independently, which also means this was my first time working with other lead designers, directors, and producers as well. I was an equal in skill level and not a trainee. During this time, I had some conflict with the producer over the budget regarding materials needed for the costumes, and there was a lack of transparency about what resources were available to me. And without transparency, I can't really do anything for the show, and then without a clearly defined budget, I couldn't do anything for costumes. It seemed like the same transparency I was giving to my team was not being reciprocated, and it felt like my position wasn't being respected. This made me think about my boundaries as a lead designer and as a coworker ultimately. It was something that I hadn't done before, being a designer that is, so I felt hesitant to advocate for myself. I realized that being hesitant wasn't benefiting anyone, and not speaking up about what I'm facing wasn't fair to my team, myself, or the costumes that I had to make. So I collected my thoughts and I prepared my words so I wasn't disrespectful or spiteful while confronting my team. I chose to be honest and direct, and I chose to have confidence in myself. That way my costumes could be the best that they could be, and I didn't feel bad about not speaking up for myself because of how others might have perceived me. Because if they weren't being respectful to me, why accept disrespect? Question 4. I usually think about why I have the view that I have, and I question myself, and if the situation allows, I give myself an answer and ask them about their point of view. I was actually in a situation recently where my friend had an opinion contrary to mine. We had a discussion about words and labels and the implications they have for other people. I won't go into specifics, but in the moment, I let her say her point of view. My response was to actively listen to her and not just hear words coming out of her mouth while I waited for my turn to speak. I wanted to actually receive the information she was giving me before I formulated my response. And I don't think everything needs to be agreed upon, but I do believe it's beneficial to hear viewpoints different from and contrary to your own. I think being retaliatory in response to a contradiction is the best way to make people not want to agree with you or even reach common ground. And I want people to be open to my point of view and not against it because they feel like they're being threatened personally. Thank you for listening.